Welcome to MFCP Woodworking. This video is intended to show my viewers what you can do with 2x4s, construction grade spruce 2x4s. The question I've asked leading up to this, if you're coming from one of my articles or from the other video on this, the question is, can you get good results? That's the bottom line question. All the other questions, it chips a lot, does it tear out? It does all those things. It's not a great turning wood, but if it's all you can get good results. So you can turn this material. This picture that's on the screen right now shows you an 8-foot 2x4 reconfigured. There's a display plate, pedestaled. There's a small candy bowl, what I call a 6-inch candy bowl. There's an egg cup, a wide brim egg cup, and there's a candle holder. All made from one 8-foot 2x4. My first 2x4 project was to make candy bowls. We sold these. We actually made a decent little bit of cash over this. They were easy to make. They were made from my scrap pile. I had a pile of 2x4 cutoffs. What we did, we cut pieces off 6 inches long, square, split them down the middle, put them on edge, put 4 of them together. So we had basically a 6-inch bowl blank. We chopped the corners off to save our tools a little bit. And then we turned a bowl out of them. You can see in the picture here the bowl on the one side. We put candies in the bowl, wrapped it in cellophane, put it with a bow, and I sold them off the corner of my desk at work. Okay, and they actually did very well. We made a couple $100 off of it, which was really quite good. Out of these candy bowl blanks and these projects, of course, grew other projects. I injured my back quite severely and was off work for a while. The people with the government who are working with the Self-Employment Assistance Program were very interested in my work. And one of the people there suggested turning these into candle holders, which you can see in these pictures here, bowl-style candle holders. Now, I had made other projects at this time, but this was the logical development from this particular item. Also, we started making the broad rim egg cups and also bases for plates. Now, one thing you have to remember at this point is that I only recently got myself a chuck for the lathe. All of my faceplate turning was done with a faceplate screwed directly to the piece of work. Anything that couldn't be covered with felt on the bottom needed to be done some other way. We found ways to do these things, and I will show that in another section here further on down the line. But as you can see, we were developing other products along the same line. These candy bowl blanks, I can make a lot of different things out of them, and these are some of the things I do. Continuing along in this line of thought, we started making the bowl blanks bigger. I extended out to a point where I was making a 10.5 inch, which is about as big as I could go on the lathe that I have, and make an actual plate. And then extend the blank the other direction. Instead of doing half of a 2x4 length, do full 2x4 block, 4 of them together, turn a base, and turn the plate. Now, what I did on these was to orient the base so that it was attached to the faceplate at the top, and the plate, of course, was attached to the bottom. When I screwed them onto the faceplate, I oriented them exactly the same way, so that once both pieces were turned, I could drill out where the holes were from the screws, put in dowels, and attach the plate to the base to make this this pedestaled display plate. The results were excellent. When I was done, it looks like one piece. There are no screw holes showing. I don't have to put any felt on it to hide the work. As you can see, we made quite a few of these. I didn't sell a lot, but they were very much admired by the people who did buy them and saw them. I do enjoy making them. They're actually quite a bit more simple than they look. With the addition, of course, of a chuck now, there are a lot more things that I can do. I can go a lot skinnier. I don't have to worry about hitting screws when I'm making the base. I can stack these pieces up into more units, and the results are quite enjoyable from a turning perspective. It's becoming more rewarding. We pursued other directions on this, and I will continue to show that. But this is how far we got at this point. Of course, I was not satisfied just making little candy bowls. I wanted to make real bowls. Well, real bowls in the sense that I wanted to make bigger bowls. The ones I made with straight 2x4s, big enough to be a cereal bowl. And they were usable because we used a food grade finish on them. We were using shellac, which is food grade. It only has one disadvantage in that it dissolves in alcohol, which means if you're going to make goblets or something, which I don't make with 2x4s, you'd have to find some other food grade solution. I understand that most finishes actually are food grade. They just don't say it on them once they're fully cured. Just want to go there. The bowls, of course, needed lids. So we went to, I made a jig. Probably the ugliest thing you ever did see. I don't have any pictures of it. I'm not that proud of it. I did make it with the 2x4 material. I will never do that again. I don't have to because I have a chuck now, but what I did was I created a large jig that would hold the lids, having the grain oriented vertically on the bowl blank. That way I could make the edges into fingers so that it could be tightened with a big hose clamp, and I was able to hold the lids in place while I finished the turning on the other side. That was successful, and as you can see on some of these, I do have lids on them. Only we had to go to spindle turning to make the knobs because, of course, I didn't have a chuck. As you could see from the pictures as they went along here, all my older children got to learn how to make the knobs. It's an easy project. Basically, they turned a tenon, and I let them mess around making whatever they want for the top. They turned out excellent. I especially liked the bowls we had with a little bit of toll painting on them, the sweet tooth bowl and the nuts and stuff bowl. Sold several of those. I got a good price on those. The originals were made with 2x6s so I could match the grains up by cutting the top off and making the lid out of it. However, I found the grain didn't make that much difference. It wasn't that noticeable, so I made the bottoms from 2x4s and made the lids from the candy bowl blanks, which turned out well enough as well. For the sake of keeping this organized, I discussed the bowl turning first. While we were doing that, I was also doing spindle turning because it's a different way of spinning on the lathe, is putting things between centers. With the 2x4s, as you could see with the knobs, we would split a 2x4 down the middle and turn knobs out of it, as well as longer spindles. You'll see some of those before the video is over. I also took two 2x4s and glued them face to face. The 2x4 is already planed. I don't own a planer. I still don't own one. So that factory edge is nice to have to glue together because we can make we can laminate pieces together and end up with a bigger block for using. But this would allow us to make a long, thick spindle, something big enough for bedposts. Or in this case, as you can see, we turned candle holders, candlesticks. We had quite a few of those. Those were done alongside the bowls. We did them at the same time. They actually were created before the candy bowl style candle holders that I made. The spindle ones were already there. One thing I would like to mention in the middle of all this is that, as you can see, some of them are stained with a dark stain, walnut stain. I get inconsistent results with that, but we do it anyway. It's a way to get dark wood when I don't have any. And the final set of candle holders that you see on there were actually turned as a gift for my parents for their anniversary 1 year. They appreciated them. Both of my parents are now passed away. Those have come back into my possession. So I actually have those. We consider them kind of family heirlooms. I like the work that was done on them. The coat of arms painted on both of them, my mom's and my dad's, as a pair. It is nice that I still have those. Of course, spindle turning leads to a lot of other projects. For example, these bed parts that I was making. It can be done with 2x4s. I'm hoping this gives inspiration to anybody listening or watching still at this point. The last pieces that you'll see before we close this slideshow is some chest pieces I made. These were oversized chest pieces with doubled up 2x4s. They're 3.5 inches in diameter. They are, for chest pieces, they're massive. For the future, I have scaled these ones down. I tried to do them with the spruce 2x4s on a scaled down version where they're only 1.5 inches in diameter or 1.25 inches in diameter, but I'm having difficulty keeping the detail. I'm sure when my skill level improves, my technique improves, I might be able to do that. I do have a simplified chest set that I can make and that I will be introducing in future videos. So in that regard, stay tuned. As you can see, if you have a basic lathe, basic equipment, and all you can get is 2x4 cutoffs, you can still make a lot of really nice stuff. So don't be discouraged. If you're interested, if you're still listening at this point, I will be making a series of videos on projects made with 2x4 or dimensional lumber of this type. All I can get is spruce here. I know they make it with other types of wood in the U.S. Douglas fir, yellow pine. Yellow pine, I'd much rather turn that than spruce. However, I don't have that option where I live in Eastern Canada. Not a problem. I'm going to show more and better than what you've seen on the list already. My skills have advanced. My equipment has been upgraded somewhat. And I think it's something you really look forward to. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. That way you won't have to miss any of it. I am determined to get more of this done, and I am getting proper help. A big shout out to my son Wesley, who has his own channel, Amy 2. If you're interested in his kind of stuff, he plays some video games online. He also does videos of me and him tramping around in the bush, which can be really fun and entertaining and interesting because we find some neat stuff out there. And you'll look forward to seeing his stuff too. A link to his channel will be in the comments or in the description of this video. So like this video, subscribe to this video, tell me what you think, and don't forget to hit the notification button. Thank you and have a good day.